Hello everyone and welcome to the 21st race of the Sudden Drop Cup Series season. We're here at the Fedex 400 in Memphis, Tennessee for the running of the Fedex 400. 33 cars in this list, a very small field compared to what we've seen before, so this could be less of a bad thing. If drivers in the chase end up crashing out, they might not finish and only get 1 point. They might at least get 2, 3, 4, or more. But it's going to be just a bit longer than the spring race here. The spring race was 100 laps. This one 120. We'll see if we have the same chaos that we saw in the spring race, especially with drivers like Stephen Wallace Jr., Dusty Neal fighting for the win, but you also had Zachary DeLello and Austin Murray get into conflict on track. Jay Jefferson spin out a lap car of Aiden Smith and destroy a good portion of the field. Memphis was chaos earlier this season, but we're back to see if these chase drivers will be able to have the any better racing style. But the top 3 are spoilers. 4 of the top 5 are chase spoilers, including Jacob Edson on pole. He's not really a short track guy, but he's shown speed at Richmond, and now he sits on pole at Memphis. We'll see if Edson can finally break through and get GoDaddy back into victory lane on his car. And the driver who was 1 position short of his first career cup win earlier this year at Memphis was Stephen Wallace Jr. coming home in second with a great run, his best finish of the season. He starts second here today, looking to pick up where he left off earlier this year. And DJ Curtis sits third. There's a fight going on still for that 13th place in points. It gives more money to finishing 13th than it does in the increments on the rest of the way down. So it's still important to get that 13th place position, be the first driver not in the chase in the point standings. It's 1 point between DJ Curtis and Carson Bowers as they enter this race. Kukulon is 18 back from Bowers, who is your points, or who is 13th, and then Stephen Wallace Jr. a big portion back there. But Curtis trying to run well today, get himself into victory lane, and possibly get himself into that 13th place points position. Peter Onjak's points leader coming into this, scored his 3rd win on the season at Richmond last week. Now he's looking to come back and run well. Ran very well in the Darlington race yesterday. We'll see if Peter can hang on. And Gatlin Downey rounds out a sweep in the top 5 for GDI. He's just looking to save this career. These are his final few races in his own car before he moves back to Rockstar Energy Racing. We'll see if Downey will be able to run very well in this U-Haul number 35. Look at the rest of the way. Matty Porta unsponsored this week. The Alfa Romeo Sauber has sponsored the car now. And Cody Goforth also unsponsored in that 27. Don't know what's up with the Sirius XM and that deal, but they do not have a sponsor on the car this weekend. So 2 of your 12 chase contenders unsponsored. Very, very interesting. Max Anderson sits in the Digital 42 this weekend. There's DJ Gibson. Morris Yepes starting pretty far back, and you see a beautiful job there. The 55 and 77 are the same color scheme. Don't know who approved that, but that'll be hard to tell apart as this race progresses. We're looking like Formula 1 over here. There's Carson Bowers further back, and no chasers at the very back, but Kev Shearer, slowest in practice, slowest in qualifying. If he finishes ahead of anyone on pace, that'll be a miracle. We're ready to go racing for 120 laps here at Memphis. Let's go down trackside for the commands to fire the engines at the Fedex 400.
Drivers, start your engines!
With that, the engines are fired. We're ready for 120 laps with 33 drivers in Memphis. Hopefully it'll be a good race. We've seen a lot of chaos at short tracks before. Plus, this is very tight pit road to get onto. You might see guys just overshoot it and hit the end of pit road. Even coming around for cautions, it's hard to slow down and then get everyone set up for pit road on this back straightaway. So we'll hope that that is all right. But we got a lot of chase spoilers up in this top group with a good few chase contenders. Sure to be exciting. 120 laps await us here at Memphis, and I am excited to bring you this coverage. Jacob Edson, Stephen Wallace Jr. out in front looking for their first wins in over 2 years. DJ Curtis looking for redemption. Gatlin Downey for his first win, and Peter Onjak looking to take this championship fight to a whole nother level. We're green at Memphis for the Fedex 400. What a restart by Edson there. Coming down the back straightaway, going to a bit of a wider angle shot, taking a look at the field as they come on down. Stephen Wallace Jr. going to clear Curtis for second. bunch of jostling for positions the further back you go, but it looks like the top 4 are going to be playoff spoilers or chase spoilers. And you got Zachary DeLello in that 57 getting a push from Porta. That could be your 5th one put at this whole top 5. Of course, in the truck race, it was a chase spoiler that went to victory lane. Alex Banyaka taking his first career win. Let's see if we can sweep that in this weekend, because this driver right here in front of us, Gatlin Downey, has never won in the NSDCA as well. But you also got, Stephen Wallace Jr., Jacob Edson looking for their first career Cup Series victories as well. Down the front straightaway, top 4 staying clean is Stephen Wallace Jr. with a big dive. He's going to take the spot away from Edson if he can, sliding up just a little bit. What a move out of SWJ right there. He has Curtis all over the back of him. Now Onjak's clearing to 4th over Downey. This outside line can work. Curtis is looking for a 3-wide move all over the back of Stephen Wallace Jr. Some contact there. And down the front straightaway, SWJ in the Frank's Red Hot 65. Right there, he clears Edson. That's for the race lead. What a move by the 65 car. Logan Cloud is on pit road. A flat tire early, but it looks like they're now checking that wheel well in the 50. I think there might have been, it really could have just damaged something in that 50 car, and a top 10 starting performance for Cloud goes up in smoke for that 50 team. Now Onjak in the 44, a very strong short track driver. He's looking for that 2nd spot on Curtis if he can make it work, but Stephen Wallace Jr. in the race lead has the pace at Memphis. We know that. He was 2nd in this race in the spring. Now Downey and Neal 3 wide. Edson on the top. Will Neal be able to hang on? He's still staying down there on the alliance partner there between CFRO GDI. That's a very, that's a very not well-known alliance, but the 94 and 35 are alliance partners. GDI and CFRO do share an alliance. Downey is going to scrape the wall a little bit. Here comes Morrison, the 55. He doesn't want to lose too much time on Onjak. So right now, if the 44 and 55 can run up front like this, that could really include or gain their points leads in this points hunt. But Onjak now into 2nd and chasing down Stephen Wallace Jr. You got to be scared when this 44 car comes up behind you, especially this year. Since the chase started, Onjato's put just a new flame under this team. Tib Foster, Peter Onjak have combined to get Onjato a 4-race win streak as they currently sit on. So if Onjak wins this would be his 5th. But if the pattern continues, it should be Tib Foster in victory lane today. That's going to be Onjak into the race lead, though, over Stephen Wallace Jr. There is Cloud back on track. He now sits 3 laps down. So that's heartbreaking for the 50 team, but with a short track race, if you're that far back, you could honestly probably are much safer. And now he's really got nothing to lose. He's just going to have to drive around, try to run as best he can. Just stay away from Jay Jefferson, would you? 95 and 2 going up the track. Aiden Smith drove this car earlier this season as Vince Freeze in it today, almost into the back of Spurley Tube. There's Cody Goforth, currently the last chase contender in the grid. He sits in the 21st position with that unsponsored number 27. But you got just a cluster of drivers right here. You got Hagen, Foster, Yepes all over the back of Bowers. There's Porta. Jefferson throwing the block on Kukulon as they go. Burkhart's now inside the top 10 as, wow, Edson's really dropping. Neal and Morris are fighting hard for that 3rd spot as they've gotten around Curtis, but they are pushing each other up the track. Now we'll see if Neal, he could sweep this Memphis weekend, or he could sweep the Cup Memphis races if he really tries hard enough. Onjak out in front, Stephen Wallace Jr., Morris, Neal, and now Curtis fighting his teammate Carter Friesen for that 5th spot. Friesen's going to take that away into the back of Neal, moves Neal up the track. So now we got a battle for 4th brewing. Friesen is the last driver in the chase, just like in the Truck Series. Monster is not having a great chase run. Friesen's 59 points back. If they don't run good this race, their championship hopes are over. Let's just be honest. They're probably not winning the title this year. Now this looks to be an inverse of how the starting grid was. You got 4 chase contenders inside the top 5 with the 1 chase spoiler, Stephen Wallace Jr. up there. Cloud is just ahead. There's Kev Shearer, slowest car this whole weekend, so we'll see if he can pass anyone on speed. John Dilk serving Allison. There's Disparito. Eves at the back here. There's Lane. Now Foster working to the bottom of Max Anderson. Larry Hagan up there as the field goes. But it looks like right here is where this whole pack is. Give a shout out to Joseph Strigley, a road course ace, but very strong on the short tracks we've noticed. He's inside the top 20 for that JSR team. This is a good opportunity for a lot of drivers to get some much needed either experience points, upgrade points, team upgrade points, because with only 33 cars and now one car 3 laps down, you just got to beat 12 other drivers as opposed to maybe even 20 as the season and the field expands. Now Burkhart and Murray, they're having a battle. Looks like that's for the 7th position, and I don't think it's going to be a contest there. Burkhart right past the 91 of Austin Murray. He's going to walk it up a little bit. Will Murray get back to the bottom? No. Stephen Wallace Jr. now fall into the clutches of the 55. So there's your top 2 in points. Currently 1-2. That's Onjak and Morris. They are having a title fight right now for the ages. But you also got to watch, if you're looking at the point standings, Tip Foster started this race horribly. Let's be real. He was, I believe he was 21st. 21st or 22nd. He's into the 17th position. He's got a long way to go, but he is only 11 points back. Jay Jefferson, who sits currently 9th, he is 15 back. Neil is 20 back, and he's inside the top 5, up in 4th. Burkhart 23 back. Yepes 25 back. Hagan 29 back. Then it's a bit of a gap to Cody Goforth, who's 40 points back. Then Austin Murray 47, Porta 53, and Friesen 59. So those bottom 4 there, Murray, Porta, Friesen, and Goforth, they need a good run today and to gain points on the top 2, or else they might just be too far back for this chase. But we still have 5 races to go after this event. Those being, I believe, it's Michigan, Talladega, Iowa, Charlotte, and Kansas. The final 5 races of this season. Sure to be exciting. Onjak's out in front, 17 laps through, 18 laps now. Neil has made the pass for 3rd on Curtis. Stephen Wallace Jr. starting to drop back. But Curtis and SWJ aren't going to move over for these chase contenders. Just because they are fighting for a championship doesn't mean these drivers aren't fighting, you know, for their careers, for some stats, for just a good finish. Especially Curtis. He's fighting for that 13th position in points. Stephen Wallace Jr. is fighting just to show, you know, GDI has speed, and this is the one track that maybe GDI could win at. This is their best finish of the year, 2nd in the spring race. Jefferson now working to the bottom of Murray. That's going to be for that 8th position, so Murray's starting to drop. Carson Bowers inside the top 10. A nice charge to the front from that. And Edson and Downey do not have the pace. They have dropped outside of the top 10. They sit 13th, 12th, 13th, and even Kukulon in 14th back there as they run. Cody Goforth is there in 15th. Foster 17th. Hagan is 20th. This is a track type he's really excels at, so hopefully this 21 will be able to recover. He is very good at the short tracks, though, as he goes to the outside of Max Anderson in that battle for the 19th spot and might even be able to make the pass work. And he will. What a move by Hagan there, using the outside line on Max Anderson, just throwing it into the corner and made that spot. Matty Porta, who started this race in the top 10 for that unsponsored 20 this weekend, he sits 22nd. It's been an abysmal chase for that team and driver. Missing a lot of battles as we go through the field because these guys up front are going at it. Now Curtis into 3rd, Friesen, Stephen Wallace Jr. there. Mostly single filing out, so starting to spread out here at Memphis. That's nice to see with 100 laps to go in this race. Still a long way to go. Onjak, your race leader, dominant so far in this event since he's taken the race lead. We're going to go ahead, get ready for a commercial break here at the FedEx 400. Onjak, Morris, Curtis, Neal, Stephen Wallace Jr., your top 5. Friesen, Burkhart, Jefferson, Murray, Bowers, and the rest of the field trying to get up there and battle for this race win here at the FedEx 400 at Memphis. Back live here at Memphis, the battle just inside this top 5 starting to heat up as Jefferson and Burkhart have caught the top group. Friesen works his way past, works their way past Stephen Wallace Jr. Now Burkhart looking for that spot on the SWJ is SWJ is going to go very wide. Now JJ in the 48, Mrs. Baird's Bread Bakery 48. I think this is the last time they're running this scheme this season, but Mrs. Baird's rumored to be coming back next year. They love TSR. But they're fighting Stephen Wallace Jr. now. It looks like Burkhart might have just brake-checked the 48. That's going to allow Stephen Wallace Jr. right past now. We'll see if these two start fighting. These two have been championship rivals all season long. Burkhart has the consistency. JJ had the wins. And now they're fighting up here as Bowers. Look at Bowers. Give him a shout out. Actually, earlier this season in the Memphis race, in the spring race, he was a race contender until that caution. He was leading the race, actually. He dominated this race until he was involved in an incident. He's now fought his way from deep in the field, I believe outside of the top 20. He's now under Burkhart and Jefferson in the same lap. That's P7 to the 25. So Bowers, you know, this year has been up and down for him. It's kind of similar to Jesse Turner in the Truck Series for Angiato, but you know, he's the only Angiato driver not in the chase, but he is the only driver in the field with 2 championships to his name. He's not going to get that 3rd one this year with the Cup title, but he is running very well in this race, flying through the field. He just needs something to go his way for that 25 team. But while we are here at Memphis, the field's starting to spread out. Let's go ahead through the field, talk about some of our drivers real quick. And, of course, your race leader, Peter Onjak, a short track specialist we've seen in the NSDCA, has won championship to his name in the inaugural Mountain Dew Custom Series season, has not won since, but as an owner, Angiato has won every other year a championship. Season 1, Mountain Dew Custom Series. Season 3, Mountain Dew Custom Series with Tim Foster. Season 5, Crown Royal Truck Series with Carson Bowers. This is Season 6, an even number year, so stats should say that he will not win this title, as I saw some debris, might have been the 95 hitting the wall. So stats say that Angiato is not going to win in the Truck or Cup this year, or MDCS. They can win all 3. Cobbs are running very well in MDCS. Onjak leads both the Truck and Cup point standings as they currently run. So right now, Onjak is trying to make history and sweep the top 2 divisions in the NSDCA, as well become the first 3-time champion and get all 3 National Series competition titles. Brandon Morrison second, though. This is the first year he's really been in a championship threat. He's made the chase before in the number 6 Toyota Tundra in the Truck Series, but never really was a threat for the title. Of course, his biggest championship blunder was 2 years ago at Kansas when he took out Yepes, and that is a famous moment always brought up when we talk about the driver of this 55. He finally got his first career win at Darlington earlier this year, followed that up with another win this year as well. I forget where that was, but I know he has 2 wins this year. He's second in the point standings by 7 points under Onjak. Peter leads this race, but you know, it'll be a gain in points, but even a second is not bad for the 55. Just needs to start racking up that consistency for BGM. DJ Curtis narrowly missed the chase this year by 2 points. He's now just fighting for wins, and this is a good chance for it. Right now running P3. He's had bad luck all season that has lost him races, just straight up lost him races. If he won Atlanta over Friesen, he'd probably be in the chase. That is what the difference is there. And he's had great runs at the beginning of the season. The middle of the year has been horrible for him. But he's on the comeback. He's on the come up as this chase progresses. And, you know, there's nothing to scoff at. If you can rattle off wins in the chase, that just builds momentum for your next year. You see that with Tim Foster, who went on a tear last season in the truck chase. Battle for fourth starting to heat up, but Dusty Neal, your race winner of the spring race here, in the same colors as he ran, the South Point colors on that 94, trying to get his second career victory, try to be yet another driver to win at the same track. Neal is a very strong short track driver and a road course racer, and really, there's none left in the chase outside of Iowa. The road courses are definitely done, but the short tracks are almost over. He's going to have to start getting that 1.5 mile speed. You got a super speedway in there, a 2 mile oval. It's going to be big for Dusty Neal in this 94. Try to come out with a victory here today, possibly throw him back into the chase hunt. Carter Friesen in fifth. Not much to say except they're bad this year. Monster's just been bad. Monster's been down. They have wins. You know, they have Friesen's win. They have Lane's win. Lane's truck win. But other than that, the chase has been disappointing on both sides. Lane, I think, picked up a spot yesterday at Darlington, but Johnson is 10th in points and out of the championship hunt. Friesen, you know, he's 5th right now, or they're 5th right now, but they need a good run because they're still losing about 6 or 7 points on the top two. Morrison Onjak, especially if Onjak's just racking away these laps led. So Friesen, this Allegiant Airlines 85, they're just trying to hang on and just scavenge as many points as they can. Stephen Wallace Jr. starting to drop back, but finally getting in rhythm in this 6th spot. Not too happy with the race car. Said it got tight as this run progresses with the older tires, so they might have to free it up on this upcoming pit stop as we're hitting the one-third point of this race. Stephen Wallace Jr. saying that the team, you know, they're building. It's just going to take a while. He wants to get back into victory lane, but GDI just does not have the speed and pace to do so week in and week out. They're trying slow and steady. He's coming back next year to the 65 car. Jay Jefferson working to the inside of SWJ. That's battle for 6th. Jay, not happy. He's running with anger today after yesterday's incident at Darlington. Contact back there. Bowers shoves Murray out of the way. You don't want to do that in Memphis. DeLello did that, and he definitely got paid back for it. But Jay Jefferson here in 7th. There you see Disparito on pit road. So yeah, the 42 and 24 Digital Motorsports playing that strategy. Oh boy, Onjak's caught lap traffic. He's making his way through real quick. But Digital Motorsports might be short pitting there. We'll see if anyone else does pit, but they pit on lap number 40. But Jay had a mechanical failure, an engine blow at Darlington yesterday. Not happy with how his team has been performing. He's rattled off wins. He's rattled off great finishes, but you know, reliability issues have plagued this TSR team all season long and all career long, really. Jay finally looking at, like this could have been his best chance at a championship, and now he's hoping that the Truck and Cup titles can go his way. Carson Bowers now, as Max Anderson on those new tires just shoved Jay past SWJ. Bowers looking for the 7th spot now on SWJ. He is tearing through the field. There's nothing about it. He's gained biggest mover of the race so far, and still gaining. He could have race-winning pace if a pit stop goes right and maybe Onjax goes wrong. Maybe we'll just see if there can be any adjustments to make this 25 faster. But without a caution, I don't think he's going to be able to gain those 10 seconds. Diego Yepes in 9th, also charging through the field. He's a championship contender, but he is 25 points back, looking to get that Cup Series title. It took him 4 years to finally get into victory lane as a champion at Kansas, but he's been in victory lane many a time, the winningest driver in NSDCA history. Quickly being caught by Jay Jefferson, though, with how Jay's been going this year. Honestly, I think Diego, we'll have to get an update on that win list over the offseason, because Diego might have a challenge for greatest of all time with that 48 up there. But Diego's returning to Monster Motorsports next year, hopefully to reinvigorate his own team, as he's going to get shoved past Jay Jefferson and SWJ by Lotus Disparito. Tib Foster, your last driver in the top 10 at Memphis earlier this season. A bad tire call, not taking tires. Caution is out on tracks. The Digital's plan is out the window, but not taking tires at Memphis earlier this season cost him. John Dilks is on pit road. Onjak is ahead of lappers, but they will not be part of this, as they'll be pitting as well, except for the 42 and 24. So they might be able to get back on the lead lap via the waiver round. Here comes Onjak down the back stretch, though. We'll see if everyone's going to be able to just make it onto pit road nice and cleanly. If you're stacked up, that's where the issues are really going to be getting onto pit road. But Peter Onjak leads us around. 45 of 120 complete, and now they are pitting. So another 45 laps gets you to 90. So let's say they do pit at lap 45, because you saw cars already coming on in. A lot of drivers came down pit road. Those being, let's see, that is Vince Freeze in the 95, Aiden Smith, Kev Shear, John Dilks, Anderson, and Disparito, and Spurley all came down to pit under this green flag run. So 40, maybe 50 laps is the fuel window, 40 to 50 laps. So you're not making it to the end on this pit stop, but this is a good chance to get that pit stop in. And it's going to be 4 tires and fuel. You don't need to be taking strategy here. Just get out as fast as you can, and it will be Onjak, the first car out of pit road. No surprise there. Morris 2nd, Freeze in 3rd, Bowers 4th, Neal 5th, Jefferson 6th, Yepes 7th, Curtis 8th, and Foster and Burkhardt. Burkhardt might have taken that spot away from Stephen Wallace Jr., a slow pit stop in the 65. DeLello also with a slow pit stop. Porta just struggling at the back. All pace out of that 20 car is gone now. And all the lappers are coming back on in, so, you know, some are 1 lap down, some are 2 laps down, so I don't think there was really no choice there. You're not getting back around here fast enough to stay on the lead lap, except John Dilks will now be a lapper in the midst of this. He looks like he was the reason for the caution in that 51 car, but the good thing for Onjak, he doesn't have anyone between him. Morris just has to work around the 51 quick enough. Friesen and Bowers, we said without a caution, Bowers might not be able to catch. We have a caution, and he gained spots on pit road. Carson could be the big threat to Peter's race win today. Onjak, your race leader after pit stops. A lot of cars trapped a lap down. 26, probably 25 left on the lead lap, as the 2 is going to be a lap down. We'll go ahead, get a quick replay. Bring us back to the action here at the Fedex 400 right after this. First into the day here, John Dilks in the 51 dives to the inside of Onjak and just sends it in way too far. Going to get up into the outside wall, and then right in front of Onjak. Onjak's going to get a little front-end damage to it, but the 51 heavy damage. So he goes spinning down the back straightaway, trying to keep his lap led. But as you see here, he just dove it in, and he was really trying to make it work. Just did not happen, did not stick. Around he goes. one car around to bring out the first caution of the day here at the FedEx 400. Back live here at Memphis. We'll be going back green with 71 laps to go. Peter Onjek. Hopefully that team was able to assess some of that front end damage, because with him and John Dilks tangling, that could be big, especially for Morris, especially for Bowers, who has had speed, who has driven through the field. Hopefully, you know, it's a short track, so Aero's not entirely dependent. The 51, though, is pretty torn up. He's probably going to drop like a rock. But we'll see if Onjek can hang on out in front with some of that, a little crinkle to the nose. Not too much damage to it, but we'll see if it will indeed affect it. Got a lot of strong cars behind him, but he has John Dilks as a buffer. Coming back around, Onjek leads us down. 25 cars on the lead lap. Still a long way to go in this race. Green flags back in the air, racing once again at Memphis. Morris unable to get by Dilks through this corner. You know Dilks is going to be fighting hard, because apparently he was fighting so hard he ran it into the wall to try to stay ahead of Onjek. But now Morris looking to the inside of Dilks. If he can clear him, that's going to give him a straight shot at the 44 Peter, and now he will. Dilks back there. Now Bowers is trying to hang on over Neal, who's all over the back of him. Diego Yepes, who's looking for a big move there in that 77. He's going to look to try to pick up a ton of spots. Now Jefferson goes down, throws a block on Curtis right through the middle. A big gaggle for this 4th position. Bowers trying to hang on now over Chase contenders. Right there, you got 5 of them right behind you. Yepes, Jefferson, Neal, Foster, and Burkhardt in this mix with Bowers and Curtis, 2 of the drivers who just barely missed out on the chase. And now you got Bowers. He's going to drop back as Yepes and Jefferson gain spots. Friesen clears himself into 3rd around Dilks. Now Yepes clear into 4th. Jefferson 5th. Look at Tib Foster in the 40 up inside this top 10. He's fighting with teammate Bowers for this 6th position. If Tib can hang on, maybe get himself a good run here, and that could really set him up as a championship contender. Jefferson to the bottom of Dilks. Now Yepes and Jefferson are coming. Now past Friesen. Onjek and Morris are trying to get away, because that's 77 and 48 are on the move on this restart, as well as Tib Foster. Whatever really adjustments they made to that 40 car, it's really working out for him. Bowers throws a 3 wide to get around Dilks. But Jefferson and Yepes now 3rd and 4th as they run 23-4, 23-5 to Onjek's 23-6 and Morris's 23-5. Cautions out. Big hits for Monster Motorsports. We'll see if anyone comes down pit road. And Monster Motorsports, they're lucky that they're still able to be a championship-winning organization, because they've gone to, what, 4 and 5 cars this season. This 2 car has been running a lot this season. It's wrecked pretty much every race. Matty Porta's in it. That's his championship done. 11th in points entering this. Just goes wrong. He's leaving Sauber at the end of the season. The team wanted to give him a car that was championship winning. They got him 2 wins this year and probably a 12th place points finish. Logan Cloud's also involved. He's had a bad day. Aiden Smith on pit road. He won't finish 2 Memphises in a row. Joseph Srigley's in it in the 63. The 95 of Vince Freeze in it. So that's a lot more cars off of the track, and with that, that's better, you know, for points contenders, because if you crash out, you only finish maybe 24th, 25th. But that's also good for the fans, the drivers. That's less lap traffic to deal with and less chances to crash. That's pretty good. Spurley Tube's coming back down, so he's going on an alternate strategy, maybe trying to just pick up spots, 42-24, and even if this goes green again, he might be able to pick up spots there. An issue there. DJ Curtis, brake failure on the 5. And that is 3 of the 5 Monster Motorsports cars busted up here in the last few laps. And now DJ Curtis, he's the luck. Him and Porta have been cursed. I mean, Porta got those 2 wins. Porta's been cursed in the chase, but Curtis has been cursed all season long. Bowers does not have an issue. I think he's just, you know, the car's usually unsure of what the damage guy's doing in front of them. But Curtis now, brake failure there. Hopefully he'll be able to get to pit road. Thankfully that didn't happen while the race was going green, because if you lose your brakes into a corner here, you're done for. Looks like we'll have 29 or 28 cars left. Curtis will see if they can repair it, repair the issue. They got brake pads down there. They're going to try to change them out. We'll see how fast they can do that. It's such a short track. That'll leave 29 cars left. Peter Onjak, your race leader. Yepes and Jefferson now are on his and Morris's butt. Freeze in 5th, Foster 6th, Bowers 7th, all clear of John Dilks. Let's get a quick replay. See what happened to bring out the second caution of the day at the FedEx 400. The big one strikes, and it's Matty Porta, your chase contender, just overshoots it into the wall. He and Srigley tangle. Srigley hits very hard to that inside wall on the driver's side, but then Cloud in there, and Monster Motorsports gets 3 of their 6 cars in this race totaled. Looking at Vince Freeze, he takes a wild ride, though, just trying to sneak to the outside, and he would have made it, too, if Cloud wasn't there. Hits the wall, bounces off, and he's going to go tumbling down the back here at Memphis. Short tracks with vicious hits. On the roof cam of this 95 was following his teammate Aiden through. You had Kev Shear and another Chevy just in front. That's heavy hit. Monster Motorsports totals 3 cars right there, and Vince Freeze, he's been taken to a local hospital just for further checkup. He and Srigley as well, but heavy damage. On board here with Cloud. Can't really see. This is on the front bumper, but you can't really see past the spoilers anyway. Spotter must have told him get down, and he did. Big hit there, and you're going to see Freeze just landing there in that 95. So Porta strikes a major chain reaction of a big hit. Multiple cars out of this one here in the FedEx 400. Back live here at the FedEx 400. Onjak, Morris, Yepes, Jefferson, Freeze in your top 5. Quick update, Joseph Srigley and Vince Freeze have been taken to a local area hospital for further checkups. They did not seem injured, but with 2 pretty hard hits there, they will be taken to the hospital. Logan Cloud checked and released. So has Aiden Smith. So has the rest of those guys. So Onjak, your race leader. Morris 2nd, Yepes 3rd, Jefferson 4th, Freeze in 5th, Foster 6th. The chase contenders starting to show up here at Memphis. Top 6 all chase contenders. Green flags back in the air. Racing once again at Memphis. Will Morris make a move on Onjak right to the back of him. Yepes giving him the shot. These 2 cars, it's just a different shade of orange between them. That's the only way you're telling the difference from a far distance on the TV. Foster looking for 5th on Freeze, and as Morris hunts down his championship rival, Peter Onjak. Up in front, though, here they come off the corner. Onjak, the race leader, Morris 2nd. Looking further back, it looked like 3 wide there with Stephen Wallace Jr. in the 65, working to the inside of his team boss, Gatlin Downey. There's some contact there as they're getting aggressive. Colton Lane sideways getting around John Dilks. Now Carson Bowers in this fight up here. He's looking for the 5th spot. He has a car that can get to the front. Now he's got to fight some of the best cars in the garage. Let's see if he can. In this top 10, only 2 are not chase contenders, those being Carson Bowers, Ryan Butcher. You can tell that the chase is the best of the best in the NSDCA Cup Series, the Sundrop Cup Series, because they always show up in these chase races. Morris now looking for that spot on Onjak, looking for that race lead. A couple weeks ago, it was Chicagoland. Morris dominated the race, and a last few laps pass by Peter Onjak in a great battle to the end gave Onjak the win in front of the home crowd. This isn't the hometown track for Morris. That would be Pocono, but he's not going to let Onjak get away. He knows Onjak has the speed, and he knows Onjak is a championship threat. He's going after him in that 2nd spot. Yepes 3rd, Jefferson 4th, Bowers all over the back of that 48 car in 5th. Foster 6th, Neal 7th. Burkhardt 8th, Friesen 9th, Butcher 10th. Edson holding everyone else up. Hagan is recovering inside the top 15. Let's see if he can continue a charge towards the front. Murray's starting to drop. Foster's out of the championship hunt now. Goforth not having a good day in that 27. Curtis at the back. He's back on the lead lap as he sends the 24 into the back of the 27. Great car control by Disparito there, but Curtis is on the lead lap, and so he can get back into this fight if possible. Battle now for 4th heating up. Bowers, Jefferson, Foster, Neal dodges under a blanket, and it's a Dodge and Toyota top 7, I believe. Here's Jay's going to bounce off the wall into Foster. Turn 2, very tough to navigate, especially as the tires start getting worn. You're really pushing to try to take those spots, and now the 48, he has a little bit of side damage there on that car. It's not going to cost him too much. It's basically a Darlington stripe here in Memphis. But Burkhart now is going to be able to get to the inside of Jay and take that spot away. So Jay just lost a few spots there. Onjak back out in front, pulling away, though. He has a car to beat here at Memphis today. Morris is not too far back, though. He's still within striking distance. So we'll see if he can do that. 65 of 120 complete. Going to bring you guys back to the action here at the FedEx 400 right after this. Back live in Memphis. The battle's starting to heat up. 6th on back. Burkhart, Foster, Jefferson, Butcher, and Friesen under a blanket here as the top 5 all kind of pull away. Now Foster trying to clear Burkhart for that 6th spot. We'll see if he can do it. Dib really running well here. 50 to go at Memphis, so it's still a long way to go. And easily one more pit stop. We'll see if it'll be green or yellow. But these guys will all have to come back in. There's Edson, Lane, 12th, 13th, Kukulon, 14th, Hagen, 15th, Eve, 16th. Curtis fighting back just to the inside of the other DJ. They're inside the top 20. Stephen Wallace Jr. back there. There's Goforth struggling today. A lot of lappers, but Murray's 22nd. There's DeLello, 23rd. Maybe DeLello will look for some payback for Memphis earlier this season. But now Onjak, you know, Morris has just been slowly catching him. It's not major each lap. It's maybe a 10th. A lap, you know. He's going to lose a 10th there, but he has been gaining. You know, there's points he's gaining, and now that's a pretty good gain there for the 55. Coming back against Onjak. We'll see if this will be a Chicagoland duel all over again. Maybe Morris is trying to time his move right because now he is on the back of Onjak coming off of the corner. We'll see if he can count it. He's building some momentum. And nose to tail down the front straightaway. Onjak up in front. Morris in second. The fans on their feet as we're looking to see a good battle up in front here. Onjak's going to pull away by a 10th, but Morris, maybe he's just trying to build some momentum. He's trying to get up there, build some momentum. You can't really bake a bunch of momentum when you're on the back of someone. You also got to see, these guys were 3 seconds back a little bit ago. Now Bowers and Neal possibly working together, kind of using a little bit of draft down the straightaways to start to catch up. They're just within 2.5 seconds, or just outside of 2.5 seconds from Onjak and Morris, but Morris on the back of him again. If these guys start battling, that's going to bring Yepes, Bowers, and Neal into this fight. It looks like Neal was really looking to get around Bowers there. Maybe he's not too happy with the 25 holding him up, but here we are still for this race lead. Morris is not making a move. Remember back to Chicagoland, Onjak, each time he went into a corner behind the 55, he was making a move. Or he wasn't making a move. He was just staying calm. Caution is out. Looks like Spurley Tube and Dilks might have gone around. So that might take out the fuel strategy here. If you can pit here, there's a chance you run out, but there's a chance you make it to the end. You saw drivers coming in on lap 40, but we'll see. Onjak, Yepes out in front. Looks like Spurley Tube, Dilks might have gone around on the back straightaway, and that's not too happy for Dilks. He's maintaining race speed. He's not that slow, but... And yeah... Whole field's coming down. If you don't come down, you're running out way sooner. So the top 5, you know, they were able to race back, so they get an advantage, you know, coming on in. The rest of the field at least is formed up, so there shouldn't be any incident coming down pit road. Maybe back here, because it's very short pit LPs here at Memphis. But actually... Nice to see there. Friesen, Foster, they actually caught back up, so it's not as big of a disadvantage to them as we thought initially. So we'll see what'll happen here under pit stops. There's your 5 lap cars going on around. They'll be coming in next time by as well. But again, 4 tires and fuel. And especially you can't say that it's a good call after you saw the spring race with Tip Foster. He went for fuel only and dropped like an absolute rock. So, you know... 4 tires and fuel is going to be the name of the game here. Onjak now fighting. Will he get out in time? No, he won't. He's slow. And Morris and Yepes are going to jump him. Bowers, Onjak's back to 4th. He makes one mistake all day. It's his pit crew, and it's going to cost him. Edson's going to drop. Got more cars on pit road. Everyone else coming back out. The lap cars won't be a factor, but now Morris just edges Yepes, and he will be your new race leader at Memphis. Bowers is 3rd, and Onjak loses 3 spots on pit road. He makes one mistake all day. It's going to cost him the race. It's not over. You know, you can make the moves, especially now The 55 strong, but he might not be as strong as the 44 in that clean air. You got Yepes in second, Bowers third. These two have come from outside the top 20 to get back in here. Dusty Neal, Jefferson, that's pretty same. Lane's going to pick up a couple spots as Burkhart loses some. Curtis is back in the fight. He's 13th. Edson's 15th. Stephen Walls, GDI is just back really where they usually are. We got a replay to check out. We're going to be inside 40 to go when we go back racing. Second into the day for Dilks. This time he's a lap car fighting Riley Spurleytube, I believe is another lap car. And he's going to do the same thing. Goes up, hits the outside wall, slides into Spurleytube, and they're going to make a big spin. The Spurley keeps it off of the inside wall, luckily. Nice job by Spurley here as we go on board with him. But Dilks just, that car just is not handling right. Great job by the 22 to lock it down. Keeps it clean. We are still under caution at Memphis. Back live here at the Fedex 400. Long way left in this race. Going back green with 40 to go. Morris, Yepes, Bowers, on Jack Neal, your top 5. Peter now is going to have to fight through traffic to get himself back to the top. Got DJ Curtis coming back into this. But now the field's starting to get a little hectic. This is when the moves are going to be made. The fuel window. You know, these guys made it 45 laps on that opening stint. But some of the lappers came in on lap 40. Was that a strategy call? Or was that running out? That's what's going to happen here in these final few laps. Plus, you got a green-white checker that could swing up and screw this entire race. And remember, the NSDCA did call it where it is a max of 3 green-white checkered attempts before they call the race. Morris, Yepes, Bowers, on Jack Neal, your top 5, an inverse of the starting grid with the chasers and the spoilers in the top 5. But we're back racing. On Jack already making his move to the inside of Bowers. Green flag's back in the air. And now for the spotters for BGM, they're going to be having a panic attack with these two cars that have the white numbers, the orange backs, the green fronts, and the yellow chase spoilers as they battle for this race lead. On Jack trying to make short work of his driver Bowers, but now Bowers fighting him. And you don't have to move over. There's no reason to move over when you're trying to fight for a race win, and that's not what Peter wants to see. He doesn't want to see his driver moving over. Caution is back out. It's Gatlin Downey in the 35, so On Jack picks up a spot on this restart. We'll continue on. Now the question is, will anyone come back in to top off on fuel in case they're predicting this thing goes into overtime? You guys are forming back up, and it looks like no one is coming in to repit. So Gatlin Downey spins. We'll go back racing here shortly and bring you guys back to that. But now On Jack into third. If he picks up another spot on Yepes and another caution comes out, Morris has got to be worried. BGM looking to take a 1-2 finish here, but Anjado looking to do that themselves. Let's see what'll happen. But let's see what happened first to Gatlin Downey. Just a traffic jam on this restart. Gatlin Downey in the 35. He's behind the 30, but Cody Goforth in the 27 is just going to send him for a spin. He's going to nose it into the inside wall with the front and rear. A nice spin brings us to another caution. Back live here a little early just to talk about the scenarios we're seeing here. The lappers, actually, the 42-24 coming down pit road, topping off on fuel. Man, what chaos it would be for 3 green-white checkers and these two come out with the race victory. I don't think they can, though, with how many laps down they are. They'd have to hope literally everyone just runs out on track, which that could happen. But let's not jinx that, please. You got Brandon Morris up here in the race lead. 55 team started 15th. Diego Yepes started 23rd. Peter Onjak started 4th. Carson Bowers started in the 25th position. So 3 of these guys here have dealt with traffic this whole race. One of these guys has dealt with being up front in the whole race because you know Onjak made a quick move early to take the race lead. Dusty Neal in the 94, he started this race 6th, so that's a decent balance, but he is a race winner here. He's the only cup winner here in Memphis. Let's see if he can get up there and fight for it. You got Friesen, Foster, Jefferson right behind him. All those chase contenders still in this. Ryan Butcher, Colton Lane up here. Then you got Burkhart and Hagen. The only chase contenders not inside the top 15 are Cody Goforth 20th, Austin Murray 21st. Gatlin Downing now sits 23rd, the last car on the lead lap with the 5 drivers down laps. Pit strategy is on everyone's mind, but I don't think they care about that. They want to see this race go green, and they want to see this race go to a green flag battle to the end to show who really has that pace and see if this 44 can actually make a move. But again, the matching cars, the 55 and 77, are out in front. We'll see if BGM is going to play a little bit of team strategy here to help Morris in that championship fight, or Yepes is going to say, screw that, I'm going to win another championship. These two have been at each other's throats for a lot this season. The team, it's no secret that the team dynamics, it's been nice sometimes, but awful other times, and Yepes knows what Morris would do to get a title, even if it isn't his own title. So we'll see what Yepes will do to get a title or even a win here at Memphis against his teammate. And Onjak in third is just hoping they both take each other out, and he could drive right on through. Coming down the front straightaway, under 40 to go, 35 laps left. Green flag's back in the air at Memphis. If the leader gets a good jump on the start, there's nothing you can do heading into one, but Yepes is not going to give up. He's going to look to the bottom. Here comes Diego. Will he be able to throw it in? No, he gives him some leniency as Bowers all over the back of his teammate Peter Onjak, but that's going to allow Peter possibly to get a run off the corner and possibly catch up to Yepes as Morris pulls away. Now Onjak in the 44 all over the back of Yepes if he can do it. Yepes trying to hang in front of both the 44 and 55 for those points, but now you got Yepes all over the back of him. I thought the caution was out. That is a false thing. Yepes now, here he goes for the race lead. This could be for the win right here if he could get to the inside of Morris and clear him. Off the corner, side by side, Yepes is going to lead that lap. He's got a car length on him, but will Brandon throw it into one? No, he will not. New race leader, Diego Yepes, from 23rd to 1st. In 89 laps now, can the 55 respond? And Onjak is still back there. The top 3 breaking away. Do not count out this Reese's 44. Battle for fourth between Neal and Bowers as they come off the corner. Neal sliding up. Top 3 under a blanket as they go. Foster now in the 40 is inside this 6th position as he's working around Friesen, trying to help his driver, Dusty Neal, get up there. Morris all over the back of the 77. Will he use the bumper? Down into 3. Will he try to make a move? Right on the back, right in the tire tracks of Yepes as they go. The BGM boys going at it as Onjak sitting there. He's going to get a run on the 55. Here he comes for second. Peter has race-winning speed. You saw how fast that car was. Yepes couldn't keep up with him in that one stint. And now Onjak's going to clear into second. Can he get up there and fight the GOAT? Down the back straightaway. 30 laps to go. 29 this time by. Tib Foster mounting a charge in the 40, looking for that spot. But Onjak all over the back of Yepes. Will that pit strategy cost him the race win? It cost him track position, but he still has a fight in him. Will he use the same strategy at Chicagoland that he employed? Wait until the perfect moment and make the move. Let's see what he'll do as he's all over the back of Yepes. And Peter hasn't raced Yepes this entire race. He's been racing, worrying about that 55, but Yepes, the charge through the field, has now got him in the fight for this title hunt, and he's looking now for his 3rd win on the season. Peter looking for 2 in a row, 5 in a row for Angiato, and his 4th on the year, putting him in contention for putting him in the fight for possibly most wins in a championship season. But now Onjak still all over the back of Yepes. Yepes might be slowing him down as he goes wide. Foster and Neal starting to get back into the mix. This could be a 5-car race to the end. Now Morris back to the bottom on Onjak. Maybe he'll try to help Diego at least, but he also wants to win a big move. What a dive by the 55. And now Morris trying to get 2 cars in one corner. He's going back for the race lead in the 55 to the inside of Yepes. Does he have enough to hang on? Onjak now. Will he wait behind the 70 or the 55 and try to follow him through? Morris clear into the lead. Onjak looking for that 2nd spot. Will he dive? Yes, he will. Yepes is going to lose 1st and 2nd in 2 laps if Onjak can hang on. Now the 55 pulling away. They've been the fastest to this race, the 44 and 55. They've been showing why they're championship worthy. And now Morris trying to put a statement into the chase over Peter Onjak. Peter leads by 7 points. He's dominated this race, but the 55 leads and is looking to get those bonus points for a race win. Onjak in second, trying to hang on. This top 5 is Toyotas and Dodges, just like it's been all year. Ryan Butcher into 6th. Jefferson 7th. Bowers 8th. Burkhart 9th. The first non-Toyota Dodge is Friesen and Curtis 10th, 11th, and 12th with Lane. 3 Monster Motorsports cars have crashed out this race. The other 3 just hanging on just inside and outside the top 10. But now Morris in the lead. Can Onjak chase him down once again and pull another Chicagoland? He has the pace. He has the speed. We are coming down. 23 to go next time by as they come on around here. Morris with a big move. Got him into the lead, and now Onjak has taken that spot. Neal is 5th. Don't count out the 94, and heck, Butcher can still steal this one if he just rockets up front. He's won weirder races before for his own team. But Onjak now in second, trying anything he can, using a bit of a higher line. Might have got him maybe just a hair faster than Morris through down the back straightaway. And that's all he needs. He just needs a mistake from the 55. And with Onjak pressuring you like that, you know it's going to happen. Flyby down the front, top 6 single filed out. The field really starting to get single filed out, starting to be a bit more calm as they go. There's Murray. Goforth was back there as well. And there's Downey, your first. No, DeLello's actual last car is Irving Allison all over the back of Goforth. What luck that we just went to that. It looked like some debris. Possibly someone hit the wall as Onjak. We missed it. It's Morris. Morris into the wall as Onjak takes the race lead away from him. We said it was just one mistake is going to cost him. One mistake from the 55 would get Onjak back to the lead, and there he goes. Foster into Yepes. They're making contact. They spin. Neal's in it. Caution is out as they wreck off a turn number 2. Everyone's slowing down, trying to make it through. Foster and Yepes make contact. And that changes it. Butcher is now 3rd. Jefferson's going to be up to 4th. Neal with damage. And Onjak will have to defend from a very hungry race field and a very hungry Brandon Morris. As now the championship drivers, Foster and Hagan's coming down. Hagan, Lane, Gibson, they're coming down. They're expecting. They're playing the gamble. They are playing the gamble. Downey, DeLello as well. Hagan is playing the gamble. He knows. He's 29 points back. He's sitting at 9th. He'd lose another 10 to Onjak. That's a race behind. You either lose by a race anyway, or you play a strategy, and he's thinking maybe 4 tires and fuel could be enough to drive through the field and possibly outlast the competition as this race comes on down. We'll see what they do, and they are going to change tires. So you saw fresh tires could carry. Those lap cars were flying at the end of their green flag stint. 2 tires for Hagan. I would have gone 4. You know you're going to be at the back anyway. But right tires are still the play to go if you're taking tires at all. Tib Foster did not come down pit road. Heavy damage to the 40. Yepes with some rear end damage. Neal with front end damage. They don't care. They got the track position. They just got to hang on now for the final few laps. We'll be restarting with 15 to go. 2 more cars coming down. That's Disparito and Shearer. Shearer actually beating cars on pace. Technically, he's the slowest car 1 lap down, but he's beat cars this race. That's an improvement over practice. 1 car. No, that was Disparito, I think, coming down. I thought that was a car slow. This restart, this end of the race is going to be a good one. Onjak and Morris back at it, but Butcher, who hasn't won in 2 years. Jefferson, who needs a good run. He and Neal both need to gain points on these top 2. Bowers, who hasn't won since his championship season last year. A lot of hungry drivers, but the fastest 2 all race will be starting 1 and 2. See how courteous they'll be in these final few laps. Caution out at Memphis. Changes the entire outlook of this race. 2 championship contenders tangle. They're fighting for the 3rd spot, trying to get to the front. Foster on the bottom. Yepes comes down. Neal is going to get a piece of it, but 3 chase contenders involved, and that could be the end of their chances. You see Yepes, he's on that outside. He's committed. Foster's on the bottom, throws it in. He moves the 77, but Diego stays right there, and it goes around. So, you know, don't know who you can give the fault to there. On board with Dusty Neal with the visor cam. Your defending winner at Memphis just gets caught up at the wrong place at the wrong time. Tib and Diego are there. He has a run on him, and now they're going sideways. He tries to just follow his line. You can't really do much else. Makes contact with both of them. Back live a little early here at Memphis. We got a race on our hands. It's going to be inside, 15 to go. Onjak, your race leader. Morris second. Butcher third. Jefferson fourth. Neal fifth. Bowers sixth. Burkhardt seventh. Friesen eighth. Yepes ninth. Foster 10th. Those two and Neal all with damage. Curtis 11th. Goforth up to 14th with a good recovery. Murray sits 18th. Hagan 19th. First driver on those two fresh right side tires. We'll see. 15 laps is way too short of a time to gain that many spots, but if those tires really can drive in there, who knows? He could have some race-winning pace. But we still got that what if. 40 was the fuel window for some of the back markers. These guys have been running better. Of course, they made it 45 laps on that opening stint, and still, they weren't even making signs of coming in yet. So you could make it to the end of this race. Plus, you got these caution laps. The question is, what if we have extra? Onjak, Morris, Butcher, Jefferson, and Neal are your top 5. Coming down the front straightaway. Here we go, getting ready to go back racing. Onjak, Morris, Butcher, your top 3. Who's going to win the FedEx 400? Green flag's back in the air. Onjak with a massive jump. Neal is holding up the whole field with as much damage as that 94 has to the front. He's slowing him down. Bowers trying to work to the outside. That's going to cost Bowers his chance at a race win here. Now Burkhardt, he's not too happy. But Neal, you got to do anything you can to try to salvage points. Morris now looking to the outside of Onjak. Butcher is there. Do not count out the 83 of Ryan Butcher. Those are his drivers. Yepes and Morris are his drivers, but he don't care. He wants to win a race for SBR before he leaves. Jefferson 4th. Bowers 5th. Neal up to the outside. Foster's not dropping too far back. Yepes. Where the heck did Yepes go? I don't know. I might have just missed Yepes. Yeah, I missed Yepes. He's up there in 6th. Jefferson now to the inside of Butcher for 3rd. Will he be the contender as Morris is all over the back of Onjak? Here comes Jefferson. Now 13 to go at Memphis. Can Jay be the spoiler here in this 48? Can he be the one to drive up there, be quiet all day until the end? Now Curtis. Yepes is going to go wide. He's going to bounce off the wall. A ton of damage there. Foster might have got a piece of the wall as too. Now Foster coming back, and Yepes, he's not happy with Diego blocking him like that. Now Hagan. Don't count out Hagan. He's working anything he can. He's up on that outside trying to pick up as many spots as he can. I think he has the speed to contend up here, but Neal is slowing them all up. Neal is just, he's trying to hang on and get as many points as he can, but caution's out. Caution's out. It might have been Dilks again. If it was Dilks again, oh boy. Foster got around Yepes. These two aren't too slow. They're slow, but not too slow. Now Neal is 13th, or 12th. Hagan's there at 18th. Anyone coming down this time? Is anyone coming down this time? No. So I think it was John Dilks again, so like Richmond last week, he's about to cause a bunch of cautions. We'll see what actually happened there. But now Jefferson's up to 3rd. Neal is out of there. He's back in 12th, so see what'll happen on this restart. With inside 10 to go now, the tempers and fenders starting to flare. We'll see some short track racing. Onjak in the race lead. We'll see if it was indeed Dilks that brought out the caution. 3rd strike of the day for John Dilks in the 51. Goes to the inside, shoved by Eves. Now they're basically 4 wide. The 35 and down, he's going to get in the back of him and spins the 51 around. So John Dilks, his 3rd incident of the day, another caution. We're not going to step away too long. We want to get back here and talk about, this race is getting into the crunch time. This race is starting. If you have more cautions, if these guys at the back just can't hang on, because it is the guys at the back. The front is clean. I mean, outside of Yepes and Foster on that last stint, but the front has been pretty clean. They've just been making moves on each other. It's those back markers that cannot hang on. The 51 of John Dilks, the NSDCA ruling. 3 strikes, you're out. Should have done this at Richmond, but they are going to call the 51 in, and they're going to retire John Dilks from this event for getting involved in another incident, as well as being 1 lap down. So the NSDCA has called him there and parked number 51 for that. Peter Onjak, your race leader. Brandon Morris 2nd. Jay Jefferson 3rd. Ryan Butcher 4th. Carson Bowers 5th. 2 drivers there have not won this season. 1 driver, it's been over a year. Ryan Butcher, it's been over 2 years, I'm pretty sure. You got 3 of the best in the NSDCA. Peter Onjak, Brandon Morris, Jay Jefferson this year. They're all inside that top 4 in points. The other one 3rd in points is Tip Foster. He's still 9th in a very beat-up race car. He's trying to hang on. This caution was good for Neal. It's going to allow him to hang on to just a few more spots. But I don't know if Neal's going to be able to hang on. I mean, the worst he's going to finish is 23rd, and I think 8 laps is enough time for all those guys to pass him. But here we go. On Jack, the race leader, Morris second, an inverse of Chicagoland. Jay Jefferson is now third after being quiet all day. He's fought his way slowly up here. Butcher and Bowers as well have fought their way to the front. It's going to be hard for anyone outside of the 55 to really take that spot away. And it's going to have to be a good restart for Morris for On Jack not to win this race. You know, a few laps left. You're in that final area of this race that you've got to try to make some moves. Now teams, crew chiefs are crunching the numbers. Are we good on fuel? Are we going to be good on fuel? How many laps can we go extra? We'll see all that and more here. On Jack Morris, your front two. Jefferson third, Butcher fourth, Bowers fifth. Burkhart, Curtis is back in the top 10 after a brake issue. Kukul on Foster, and Yepes your top 10. Foster and Yepes heated on the radios with each other. We'll see how that'll go for the 9th spot. Neal slowly dropping back, trying to hang on to any points he can. On Jack Morris lead us down. Jefferson back there. Will anyone stop the 44? Green flags back in the air, racing again at the FedEx 400. Morris gets a jump. Bowers looking to the bottom of Butcher already into turn 1, but Morris is there. He's on the back bumper. Bowers getting aggressive. Right to the bottom of Jefferson. Morris all over the back of him. Bowers shoves Jefferson up. But here we go for the race lead. Morris all over the back of the 44. Bowers is in the fight if he could get clear of Jefferson. Will we see a race to the win here as On Jack is now out in front, all alone by himself as he pulls away from Morris. 6 laps to go at Memphis. 3 wide, Jefferson getting dropped. Now Bowers throws it in under Morris. If anyone's stopping his boss, it's going to be him. Now Burkhart inside the top 5 trying to gain those points. Morris not happy about that. Does not want to see that 2nd spot go away. And now On Jack is pulling away. This could be a major championship statement there. The rest of the field going on around, just making sure they're staying at least clean enough in the back to continue on. Bowers in 2nd. Butcher 3rd, Burkhart 4th. If this race goes under another caution, we got a race on our hands. But now does Bowers have enough time to catch his boss? On Jack is pulled away with all that battling for 2nd. The squabbling for 2nd has shoved the 55 back to 5th. That's a big loss in the standings for him. That might even be a 6 or 7 point swing. But Bowers is in 2nd. He's been 2nd multiple times this year, trying to get his first win. I don't think he's going to have enough time. He's got a 2nd to gain on the fastest car in the racetrack. But Brady has shown up here on this late race restart. He's making a move. Jefferson is dropped. He's been stuck on the outside. He's just lost about 7 spots on this restart. Now fighting Foster for that 10th position. You got Yepes there. Neal, where is he at? And he is about to go to Edson and then Eves. So Neal has probably not saved enough spots for him. Now Morris got around Burkhart. He's back under Butcher for that 3rd position. Coming around, 2 laps to go. On Jack wants to see that white flag. 1 car down pit road. That's Tim Foster. We're running out of fuel. We are running out of fuel. Foster's down pit road in the 40 car. The white flag needs to come out for On Jack to be possibly home free. But did they stretch enough fuel? Did they save enough in that 44 if Foster was running out? Coming around, if he takes the white flag the next time around, ends it. Coming around. We're still green. Still green. White flag to the 44 On Jack. Looking for his 5th in a row for Angiato. 2nd in a row this season. 4th race win. Bowers sits in 2nd. If On Jack runs out, it's his. Morris 3rd trying to hang on, but Foster's on pit road. Heartbreaking to see for Tim. That might cost him the championship, but On Jack is your race leader in the 44. Coming out of turn number 4. A dominant performance today. 5 in a row for Angiato. On Jack wins at Memphis. Bowers comes home 2nd, Morris 3rd. You know, he's not happy with that, but Bowers is racing. He has every right to race the chasers as hard as he wants. Butcher with a 4th is great. Curtis, what a recovery into 6th. Hagen, look at those fresh tires. He was 9th on that restart. He would have been 9th on the restart. Hello. They're all mad at Cody Goforth. But he was ninth on that restart and might not have hung on. Those 2 tires might have been the call there to get him back into 7th. It definitely topped him off on fuel, but what a recovery to 7th for Larry. Jefferson falls to 10th. Downey up to 13th. He took those tires. Yepes 11th. Friesen in 15th is not good for him, or them. DeLello 17th. Goforth 16th. That happened after the race, so it won't count against him. Just smoking in that car. Murray 19th. Neal was 22nd. Foster 24th. Again, he's not happy on the radio. Last car 1 lap down. Kev Shearer beats 1 car on pace, on actual pace. It was on the same lap as him. But Peter Onjak comes home with the race victory. That finish might have been a little anticlimactic, but those restarts and that run, a big move by Morris. They were jostling for position at the end there, but Bowers just got enough to get to the inside of Morris and gave Onjak that race victory. What a race. That was pretty calm for a Memphis race. Of course, we had a lot of cautions there at the end, a few in the middle portion, but, there's a difference for being a bad show, a mediocre show. And the racing was pretty good. You had a lot of strung out running. You had some strategy being played. If there was green-white checkered, I am sure that race would have been ruined by fuel strategy. But Onjak comes home the victor. Foster, heartbreaking there, was running in 4th. Yepes cuts him off as they go for that battle. Spin out, and then the fuel runs out. Dusty Neal as well. Heavy hit to them. Jay Jefferson dropped back too little too late. So 3rd, 4th, and 5th in the standings all struggle. Yepes and Burkhart up in the top 10. They come home with good finishes. Hagen is going to not gain points, but might gain a spot or 2. Goforth, bad run. Porta, horrible run. Friesen, bad run. And Murray, mediocre. That's going to cost them probably their chances of the championship this year. But we've got a fight on our hands. Onjak, 5 in a row for Onj Auto in the Cup Series. His 2nd win in a row. And now, 4th win on the season. 1 away from tying Colton Lane's record of most in a single season at 5 for Lane's championship season. So, thank you guys for tuning into Memphis. Next race is Michigan. A very fun track to race at. Should be exciting to get out of these short tracks and into some high speed and high octane action at the Michigan International Speedway. 5 races left to decide your Cup champion. 4 races for the Truck champion. 3 races for the Mountain Dew Custom Series champion. We have it all here on the NSDCA. Hopefully, it'll be exciting. Peter Onjak's your race winner at Memphis after 120 laps. Congratulations to him and Onj Auto for being dominant so far in the Cup Series. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time on the NSDCA.